We're back and you're watching Live at 9. If you have cheered on the Memphis Showboats from Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium this season, you may have already encountered some changes to the security efforts there.
Yeah, it is a part of a new effort that is being introduced in phases at the spot that's also home to the Memphis Tigers and the annual Southern Heritage Classic. The new technology leverages artificial intelligence, and this morning we are live with the leader of the company behind it all, Peter Evans. He's the CEO at Extract One Technologies. Good morning, Peter. So happy to have you on Live at 9 with us. Let's just dive in. I mean, we're talking about the stadium that can fill almost, 60,000 people, and people might kind of be concerned. What does this new technology look like? How would it affect me when I'm trying to get into the game? So break it down for us.
Well, good morning, Shay. Good morning, Alex. Thank you so much for having me on the show. Very, very simply, what we're doing is using digital transformation technology, artificial intelligence, and new sets of sensors to change the way that we're screening for weapons when people walk into a venue, such as going to see the Memphis Tigers play. Simple example, we've all gone to a baseball game, a football game, where you go through a walk-through metal detector, and that is specifically a metal detector. It will alert on a watch, wallet, cell phone, keys. So it's kind of annoying because we have to take everything out of our pockets, put them in a bin, walk on through, you beep, oh, it's my belt buckle. We've all had that experience. It's annoying. And you're standing in line for a long, long time when you just want to get in and see the game. And people have a higher expectation of the experience these days. So we've used new technology to come up with a device which is a weapons detector. This weapons detector can discern the difference using artificial intelligence software and different sensors that this is a cell phone, this is a gun, and this is a knife. And with that, you or me, I don't carry a gun or a knife on me when I walk around town. I would just walk right in. You don't have to take anything out of your pockets. It's just like walking down the sidewalk. If you do have a gun or a knife, it'll alert and you get pulled over to the side. So in general, when someone like yourself, Alex, Shay, when you guys go to a game, those walk-through metal detectors might let 5 people through them in a minute. With systems like ours, once it's tuned, once people are familiar with it, once the fans are familiar with not having to take stuff out of their pockets, just leave it in their pocket, just walk right in, you might get about 30 people or 6 times as many people through in a minute.
So Peter, let me jump in just for a second here. It sounds like you're saying for those who really want to experience, the sports activity that's taking place, in front of them, this will not be extremely intrusive. But is this also kind of a sign of the times that we're kind of living in these days, that something like this is needed?
I think so. I mean, we've all seen the issues with what's going on with weapons threats around the country. There isn't a day that goes by when there isn't another story about another shooting. That's incredibly unfortunate, but it's where society is today. And we're not in the business of debating gun control laws or anything like that. We're in the business of putting in place digital technology. And if you look at it, innovation has solved many of society's problems. It's changed the way we do education. It's changed the way we do banking. Heck, it's changed the way that we can do this interview today together. And so using the same sort of digital technology, we can radically change the patron experience while increasing safety.
Now,
and
Peter,
this applies, please go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, when people hear AI too, they also think, well, what is going to happen to jobs, which is a big concern here in Memphis. So how does it work? How many people are involved? Are people scanning the machines? How does that affect the jobs here?
That's a great question. And it's really not changing the jobs. What we're doing is allowing the people, the security staff, to be more informed with good data. So you're allowing people to be more proactive and preemptive as opposed to reactive. And think about it. If I can take that same AI software, which we do, and we put it on cameras, and I now think about cameras that are all over schools. Now, instead of having a security guard who's roaming around the school hoping to find something, that AI software can actually indicate to him, this is the issue going on in this place right now, and it's where you need to go. And so that guard then arrives well informed what the issue is, what the weapon was, whether it was determined, where the person was, where the perpetrator is. And so now they're going into a situation well informed as opposed to going in blind or reacting. And so I think it allows us to think of it like we have the digitally enabled security staffer, as opposed to think about it as a negative job impact.
And Peter, I know right now we're into phase 1 at the stadium, and we'll soon go into phase 2 a little bit later this year when the Memphis Tigers play, and of course Southern Heritage Classic. What about concerns about privacy? Should I be worried about that for any reason?
Well, not at all, because our system is not looking at you and saying, this is a man, this is a woman, this is someone old, this is someone young, anything like that. It's just looking at the characteristics of weapons. And so it's looking and saying, these are the characteristics that demonstrate that this is a gun. and there's nothing really captured about the person. So we're not. So it's very, objective. It doesn't really assign any sort of behaviors to any sort of individuals or things like that. It's looking at the characteristics, say this is a gun or this is a knife.
And quickly here, is this being used at any other facility across the nation, or is Memphis like a test model, or what?
Well, Memphis is our first location, and the stadium is our first location in Memphis. But Madison Square Garden, the Moody Center in Austin, Texas, Acrisure Arena in California, Kia, Hyundai, Tesla, many other customers are protecting their facilities and taking care of their environments. We're also now deploying into hospitals and schools where we've seen, issues with violence there. The bottom line is what we see is this is an opportunity for the venue operators, whether you're a school, a manufacturing location, to ensure your fans, ensure your staff, ensure all of your patrons that you can create a weapons-free zone or a protected environment free of weapon threats.
All right, we have right here in the
That's
Mid-South.
As they say, the future is now. Peter
Sure.
Evans, thank you very much. Glad to have you here this morning.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much. I'll see you at the next game.
We will
right.
definitely see you there for sure.